1, 2, 3. One more testing round. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Vlogmas Day 3, and I'm so excited because we are making macro-friendly vegan gingerbread cookies. Now, I made gingerbread cookies last year in Vlogmas, but they were not macro-friendly. They were just healthier vegan cookies. So this year I'm really excited to make some protein gingerbread cookies. So this recipe is not my own. I did not make it up. I got it from Fit Vegan Chef. If you follow her on social media, she makes some bomb recipes. That's also where I got my protein mug cake that I make all the time. If you are a subscriber, which you should be, subscribe. But yeah, so follow her. I'll link the Instagram post she did on this gingerbread cookie recipe down below. I did make some tiny tweaks just based on what I had already in my kitchen. Let's just get into it. So first things first, we're gonna preheat the oven. I have the Instagram post pulled up on my laptop right here so I can just follow along. And we're gonna preheat to 350. Okay, and then while that's preheating, we're gonna start mixing everything together. So we got dry and wet ingredients. We'll do the dry ingredients first. So the first one she has is coconut flour, which we just have a ton of almond flour we don't use super often anymore, so I figured swap it out. Now, I'm going to calculate all of this into my FitnessPal to see what my macros come out as, but on her post, her cookie is supposed to be 3 grams of fat, 14 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of protein. So we'll see what mine come out to. So here's my mixing bowl, and I've got my little food scale right here. Everything is measured in grams, which is the easiest when you're tracking and most accurate. I'm gonna start off with 112 grams of the almond flour. Okay, I just flipped on some lights. Hopefully you can see me better. But next is the vegan protein. She went with vanilla, and I have this Women's Best vanilla protein, but it's almost gone. So I'm gonna use as much as I can of this, and then I'll just use a little bit of the Women's Best cookies and cream. She also says to use one that's lower in carbs, so that's why I'm not using Orgain, because Women's Best is higher in protein, lower in carbs. So we're gonna do 60 grams total of this protein powder. I'm just gonna dump this in there because it's gone. Oh, okay, so that gave me about 21 grams. So the rest I will do in the cookies and cream. I don't think it should matter too much. We'll see. Okay, next is oat flour. Now, they didn't have any at the store. She said she used Bob's Red Mill brand, and I couldn't find any. So I just decided to put some oats into a little food processor and blended it up the best I could. Still Bob's Red Mill brand, but I just blended my own oat flour. So we're doing 60 grams of that. Okay, our next ingredient is going to be this baking stevia. I just got at Kroger. I also use this in that mug cake recipe. It's just a no-calorie sweetener, and from what I understand, it's healthier than Splenda or those other no-calorie sweeteners. So we're gonna do 12 grams of that. Our next ingredient is just all of our spices. So I got those right here. We're doing 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of ginger, gingerbread cookies have always been my absolute favorite holiday treat. They're so good, so I'm hoping these turn out really good. Next up is 1/4 of a teaspoon of the allspice. I got the ground Jamaican allspice. I'm hoping that's the same thing. I'm curious to know, what is your favorite holiday treat or dish that like you associate with Christmas? Because I feel like we all just love our traditions, you know? Okay, and then the last spice we're using is ground cloves, and you're doing 1/4 a teaspoon of that. Okay, I still got my competition nails on, and trying to function is a little bit difficult. I can't open any of these little things. And Dallin's not here to help me. My dad would be so mad. He used to get so mad at me when I was little and I tried to use my teeth to open things. Sorry, Dad. Much better. Okay, fourth a teaspoon, ground cloves. All these spices smell so good. Then we're doing 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I love experimenting with my own recipes, but it's also nice to just follow a recipe because then you know it's not gonna turn out terrible or anything. Like last year, if you watched my gingerbread cookie video, I had to redo the entire recipe. You'll see it in the video if you go back and watch it. I'll link it right here if you want to. But I mean, in the end, they turned out okay, but I had to make an entire batch and waste it because they were just not sweet. Okay, did a full teaspoon of baking soda. Next up is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which usually with salt, I always use pink Himalayan. I don't always measure it. I kind of just, and that's usually good. That's all of our dry ingredients. I'm just gonna mix it together and then we'll set it aside. Okay, so moving on to the wet ingredients, we've got 4 ounces of water to start off with. And I've got this small mixing bowl. And then we've got 4 ounces of plain unsweetened soy milk. How you have to put all the ingredients in when you're doing it by weight. And then 122 grams of unsweetened applesauce. A little too much. Nobody stress. Okay, it's probably fine. I just put a little too much, but no big deal. And then you want 24 grams of flax meal, which this is dry right now, so I'm assuming it's like a flax egg. So I'm going to make this in a separate little dish. Got one right here. So I'm gonna do 24 grams of this, and then just enough water to cover it. Just put a little bit of water in there. Actually, now I'm realizing that you probably put the flax meal directly in and it soaks up the liquid we just made. I don't know. I'll just put a little less water. Dang it! Maybe you're supposed to put that directly in, but it's confusing because the flax meal is dry. Okay, next is 2 tablespoons of unsulphured molasses. Here we are. This is from last year. Haven't used it since. 2 tablespoons. That's gonna be 30 milliliters. I'm so excited right now. The last wet ingredient is just going to be 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now I'm just going to pour that flax meal into the wet ingredient. Now I'm just going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry. And then it says to just mix it with a spatula till it's well combined, but you might have to ditch the spatula and use your hands towards the end. Oh, it smells so good. Now I'm getting a little nervous because this looks a little bit too wet to me for gingerbread cookies. I don't know what it is, you guys, but I feel like I can never make gingerbread cookies right the first time. Because this doesn't look like cookie dough that you can use cookie cutters with. So I think I'm gonna add more almond flour. So we'll see what happens. Wish me luck. All right, so I just added in double of the almond flour I used at the beginning. And the dough is looking better, but I don't think I'm gonna use cookie cutters. You're supposed to use parchment paper, but I don't have any, same as last year. So I'm just gonna really spray down the pan I'm gonna cook the cookies on with some coconut oil spray. And then I'm gonna get all the cookies on the sheet. So this is a smaller baking sheet. Hopefully they don't morph into each other, but even if they do, at least they taste good. The dough tastes really good. I think what I did maybe was the flax meal didn't need to be soaked. It should have just gone straight into the wet ingredients. Also, cooking at different altitudes, I know changes things, so it's a little bit difficult, but as long as they taste good, right? So I'm putting them in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes, it says, but I'm going to check on them periodically. Do 18 to start with. So this made 12 cookies, like she said in the directions, but I kind of ate enough dough to be a 13th cookie, which makes sense because I added that more almond flour. I think this is tradition, me making gingerbread cookies and having it be kind of a fail on Vlogmas videos. It's not a complete fail though, because they still taste good.
Hi YouTube fam.
So continuing with tradition, I ended up making the entire recipe again, but tweaked some things. I did less water, ended up doing only 3 ounces, and I put the flax meal directly into the wet ingredients rather than soaking it first. And the macros and the cookies turned out even that much better. So follow the directions down below or in the Instagram post that I've linked below. Okay guys, so the cookies are done. Dylan's eating one. So I actually ended up remaking the whole recipe just like last year. Used only 3 ounces of water instead of 4 in the wet ingredients, and also put the flax meal straight into the wet ingredients instead of making a flax egg before. The dough still turned out not super gingerbready, so I wasn't able to use my cookie cutters like I wanted to, but however, not having to add in that extra almond flour will make the macros better. So if you're gonna make these, make it with the same recipe. I'd put in a little bit less water, and then you won't have to add that extra flour. And I'll put those macros down below and the link to the recipe for you guys. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you do, give it a try. They taste really, really good. Do you like them, Dal?
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yep, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because Vlogmas is still going. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.